Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I hope you are doing well. This week we are starting back at the beginning of the Torah. We are back in the book of Bereshit. We are in the first parsha of the book of Genesis. And there are a lot of things that I like to talk about every year with the Genesis story, but it's just a really good parsha. It was Leah's bar mitzvah parsha. How many years ago? 14 years ago. Wow, that's crazy. Okay, so when we're in the beginning of the parsha, I'm just going to share my screen. We start by talking about the creation, the all of the things that were created at the beginning of the world. So there's a few days of creation, and then God decides. And then God says, "Let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and they shall surely rule over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the heavens, and over the animals, and over all the earth, and over the creepy things that creep upon us." Which is, some people use that as a source for why we are allowed to eat animals, because we were kind of ordained as like to be at the top of the food chain. Okay, and God created man in his image. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. Not created him, created them. Them. What is this? Okay, so let's look at the Hebrew. But Vayivara Elokim et ha'adam betzalmo. And God created et ha'adam betzalmo, in his image. Okay, so ha'adam. Is that Adam? No, it's not Adam. Let's see more. B'tselem Elokim bara oto. In the image of God created him. Oto. That's masculine. A preposition for masculine. Zachar unekeva. Male and female. Bara otam. Created them. So, in the image of God, God created him. Male and female, he created them. Okay, what does this mean? This means that Adam and Eve, according to our commentators, Adam and Eve were this creature called Ha'adam. They were connected at the back, and they were male on one side and female on the other. And when we read about God taking Adam and splitting him, taking parts of him to make Chava, to make Eve, it's not that he took Adam's rib, and from that small amount brought all women, and that's why women aren't so smart, because they were only made from a rib. No, of course not. Adam and Eve were created at the same time. They were this creature back to back, and this is what we use as the source for soulmates. The idea is that every person begins as Ha'adam, not just Adam, not just Eve, but Ha'adam. And at birth, we are separated, and we spend the rest of our lives looking for that corresponding part, that Ezer Kenegdo, that partner opposite us, that pushes us to be a better person, that pushes us to work harder. Always looking for the Ezer Kenegdo. Adam and Eve were created at the same time. And it's cool, and it's kind of liberating, because if anyone said that like men were superior because they were created first, literally, why would that even be a thing? But also, it's not true. Man and female were created at the same time, and men and women are both in the image of God, meaning that God is neither male nor female. God is beyond the binary. So that's another thing. No longer picturing God as a man with a big beard sitting up in a chair in the sky. Okay. Then we get to the instructions that God gives Adam and Eve while they're in the Garden of Eden, Gan Eden. God tells them, you can eat from any of these trees except for the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And then God is like, oh, it's not good for man to be alone. Let's separate. It's not good for man it's not good for man to be alone. Meaning, it's not good for man to already be completed by their partner. Let's make a partner corresponding. Not make, just split. So the Selah, the side of Adam, was split in half. So Adam was one. So Ha'adam became Adam and Chava. So these two creatures are created. Eve is tempted by the serpent to eat from the tree of knowledge. She eats from the tree of knowledge. She tricks Adam into eating from the tree of knowledge. And what we learn is that they suddenly realize that they're naked. So what is it that they learned from the tree of knowledge? So I love this explanation, and I've talked about it before, so it may sound familiar. The explanation is that before Adam and Eve ate from the tree of knowledge, they didn't see physical forms. They just saw one's energy. They saw the essence of someone else. And they realized that they didn't have clothes on suddenly, because what they realized is that they'd been looking at the pure essence of one another, not their physical form. And so therefore, we call dressing lavesh, lavesh lo busha lo, and lavesh is clothing, to dress. And busha is shame, lo to him, shame to him. Lavesh, lavu, lavosh. It's all like from the same, that meaning that we have clothes because we have shame. And why do we have shame? Because we no longer see just the essence of someone. We also look at their physical being, which is such a shame. Because it would be really such a gift if we could only see people for their true essence and who they truly are. We're such a, surface level society. It's very sad that we can't see people like this. So we work hard to emulate the way that Adam and Eve once were before they ate from the tree of knowledge. We work hard to emulate them and to try to see people for who they truly are, beyond the physical, into their true essence. So those are the ideas. Parshat Bereshit. So excited to be back at the beginning of the Torah. We have so much good narrative coming up. Wishing you a Shabbat Shalom. All the best. God willing, I'll see you next week.